Hello, my beautiful viewers. Good morning to you. I wish you a happy Tuesday. How you all doing? I trust that you're doing fine. Okay, so today I want to speak with us about fire safety. But firstly, I'd like to introduce myself for those that don't know me. My name is Ikena Ndefo. I'm a fire safety expert specialized in providing solutions to fire hazards. Plus, I'm an inspirational speaker and also a motivational speaker. So as you can see on my coverall, this is PASFO, PASFO. PASFO is a total solution provider in fire safety and prevention services. PASFO is a group of professionals trained locally and overseas. So today I want to speak with us about fire safety. Fire safety basically is a systematic evaluation in order to identify fire risk areas and to provide solutions. Fire safety basically has to do with acquiring theoretical and practical knowledge on fire safety and prevention procedures so that fire safety and prevention ideologies becomes inherent in us, and that way the risk of a fire disaster is averted. Fire safety also is a set of principles and practices that guides and explains the analysis of fire protection, prevention, and control. Fire is a very good friend of ours in the sense that we use fire to cook our foods, we use fire to keep ourselves warm, especially in cold countries like the US, Europe. We use fire for manufacturing, we use fire for lots of positive things. And at the same time, fire is a vicious friend if not properly managed. Fire is a vicious friend and can kill us if not properly managed. As a matter of fact, fire has destroyed lives and properties and will continue to destroy lives and properties until we take precautionary measures. When we look back in retrospect how our forefathers used to make fire by striking two stones against each other, compared to now that as a result of technology, we have mechanized and electrical ways of making fire, such as our gas cookers, our electric cookers, our lighters. We will say it's a welcome development on the part of technology with respect to fire. From a fireman's perspective, fire is the rapid combination of oxygen, heat, and fuel to produce light, which results to burning. And then these elements have to come together proportionately. In other words, these elements have to come together in agreement before there will be fire. If one of these elements is not present, there can never be fire. For example, if oxygen, which is in the atmosphere, is not present, there can never be fire. For example, if you light up a candle and then you cover it with a cup, what happens to that fire? Definitely the fire will die off because there's no oxygen to help it burn. And if heat is not present, there can never be fire. There has to be some degree of heat to be generated before there will be fire. And then if fuel is not present, there can never be fire. Fuel does not necessarily mean the fuel or gas that we put in our cars, in our generator sets. Fuel or gas is anything that burns. So as such, human beings can be considered as fuel because if you throw a human being inside of the fire, he or she will burn. That introduces us to the fire triangle, which is a triangular symbolic representation of the three elements of fire, such as oxygen or an oxidizing agent, heat or a source of ignition, and fuel, which is anything that burns. Remember, fuel is anything that burns. But due to further research on fire, the fire triangle was changed to fire tetrahedron, which reflects a fourth element known as chemical chain reaction. Therefore, the fire tetrahedron is the rapid combination of oxygen, heat, fuel, and a chemical chain reaction to produce light, which results to burning. I hope I'm making sense. So now we're going to go to the causes of fire. Basically, there are several causes of fire. We have fire by accident. This is when it could be natural, like lightning. Lightning carries current and it can actually run through your building, and if it comes in contact with any naked wire in your building, that could trigger fire. And volcanic eruption, that's another natural way fire can occur. Volcanic eruption, I mean, everybody understands what volcanic eruption is. This is when fire emanates from the ground, and if there are houses around there, they get caught up with the fire. We have other causes of fire, such as arson. This is when somebody deliberately sets a place on fire. And carelessness, which accounts for the major causes of fire in the building. Let's bear in mind that fire starts from a little degree before it gets out of control. And our abilities to put out that fire at that initial stage, the greater chances of preventing a fire disaster. As long as we live in a building that has got electricity, there could be fire. So what matters most is for us to understand that there could be a fire, but do you have what it takes to put out that fire at that initial stage before it gets out of hand? So I'm talking about your first aid, firefighting, and fire detection equipment, such as your fire extinguishers, your fire alarm and detection systems, your fire hydrants, your sprinklers, all of those. And if you actually have these fire safety equipment, do you inspect them? Do you service and maintain them for effective functioning and optimal performance? Yes, it is very important that we put all this into consideration, because, like I would always say, one of our responsibilities is to ensure that we protect lives and properties against a fire disaster. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so I need to speak with you about the different classes of fire and then the different extinguishing agents suitable for each class of fire. Basically, we have the class A, B, C, D, K, F, different classes of fire, but it depends on where you're situated. If you're situated in America, America has their system of classifying fires. The UK and the Europe, they have their system of classifying fires, okay? And the Australian system also has their system of classifying fires. But all that does not matter. What matters is for us to understand the different classes of fire and the extinguishing agents suitable for each class of fire. The essence of that is, if you understand that, then you will be able to put out the fire before it gets out of hand. Because if you use a certain fire extinguisher on the wrong class of fire, I'm afraid that it will cause more damage than good. That's why we need to pay critical attention to this. Class A fire are those fires that involve combustible materials, such as your paper, such as you can see my paper in the office, wood, my desk, the clothes that I'm wearing, they are combustible materials. And there is a suitable extinguishing agent suitable for such kind of fires, and they are the dry chemical powder, which contains monoammonium phosphate powder. You can also use water to put out the fire, but I like to advise people not to ever attempt to use water extinguishing agent in the event of a fire, because fire spreads through. There are three ways in which fire spreads: by convection, by conduction, and by radiation. And if fire spreads through these methods, most times it comes in contact with naked electric wire. And if you use water on a naked electric wire, I mean, you know what that is. That's electrocution. So stay away from using water in the event of a fire in anywhere you find yourself. Stay away from using water. Stay away from using water extinguishing agent in the event of fire in your house, in your building. But by the grace of God, we will never experience anything like fire. Okay. Currently, in the U.S., I think in California, they're experiencing wildfire. And I really feel for them over there, but I mean, I trust the American system. They are They have upgraded firefighting equipment, and I'm confident that they will contain the fire at the end of the day. Okay, for we here in Nigeria, we hear lots of fire disasters here and there. Like I would always say, it's associated with carelessness. Fire don't Fire does not just occur like that, okay? Even if it happens, as long as you have the safety equipment to put out the fire, it will never get out of hand. Okay, so this is just a little bit of a lecture on fire, and I also want to talk about the atmosphere. Because the atmosphere, the earth, is made up of different gases, okay, such as nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, and a whole lot of other gases. But what I want to understand is, according to NASA, National Aeronautics Space Administration, the atmosphere is made up of different gases, and nitrogen has 78% of 78% concentration in the atmosphere, and oxygen has about 21%. So if you sum up nitrogen and oxygen, it takes us to a total of 99%, meaning that nitrogen and oxygen are more concentrated in the atmosphere. And we have little gases such as argon. Argon contains 0.93%, if I'm not mistaken, and carbon dioxide, which we breathe out, also contains 0.03 or 4. So the question right now, or what gives me headache sometimes, is how come we are told that we breathe in oxygen when the atmosphere is made up of mostly nitrogen, which is more concentrated with 78%, and oxygen follows with 21%. So sometimes I'm baffled. Do we actually breathe in oxygen or nitrogen? Can someone explain this to me, please? I need to go to work, my beautiful viewers. Thank you for spending time with me, and have a great Tuesday. May God bless you abundantly. Bye.